Hi, and welcome to Forward, Mississippi State University's television show exclusively for the College of Education. Today we have Gabriella Davis, the director of the Migrant Education Service Center at MSU. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So you're the director of the Migrant Education Service Centers. Can you tell me a little bit about that center?
So the Migrant Education Service Center is actually a federal program, and we are funded through the Mississippi Department of Education, but we're just housed at Mississippi State University. We set out to ensure that eligible migrant programs are receiving appropriate educational services to enable them to achieve high standards and high academic standards by overcoming the obstacles from cultural and language differences stemming from frequent moves. The lifestyle of a migrant parent is that of following the crops, so the students fall through the gaps and they miss out on school. So that's what we do. We're a supplemental program that helps them reach those gaps.
Okay. And is this the only service center in Mississippi that that helps the migrant?
It is. We're the sole service provider for the state.
Mm-hmm. And how did Mississippi State get this center?
So it was. It's been through there's a little history there. There used to be 9 consortia. In 2006, the Department of Education decided to consolidate the 9 consortia into 3, and Mississippi State University was the northern district. Was awarded with the northern district. The Jackson State was central, and Southern Miss was the southern region. But then in 2008, in late 2008, early 2009, Mississippi State University was awarded with the whole state. The other 2 districts shut down. So we've been a whole center since then, since 2008.
Okay, and you've been there for about 11 years, correct?
Actually, yes, since 2007.
Wonderful. And how did you become involved with it?
It was actually kind of funny because I was kind of recruited to be in the recruitment part of the program. One of my friends and I were taking a class together during the summer of 2006, and she talked to me about the program and asked me if I would be interested in changing careers. Previously I was teaching Spanish, and so it became really interesting to me to be part of this program, and I've been here since then.
Wonderful. And tell me a little bit about your staff.
Well, we're a very diverse staff. There's me, and then there are 5 coordinators and 5 recruiters. The 5 coordinators each play a very specific part in the program. They're all equally important. There is a parental involvement coordinator, identification recruitment coordinator, a data specialist coordinator, and a business coordinator. There are 5 recruiters that are under the identification recruitment coordinator, and the 5 recruiters work throughout the state. They each have a region, and they're in charge of anywhere between 23 to 24 or 5 counties that they're in charge of, and we help them with the recruitment efforts.
Mm-hmm. And so what do these recruiters actually do?
So their main job is to identify and recruit the students into the program, but they really wear a lot of hats. They play advocacy. The needs of the families are very high in all kinds of areas in terms of resources. Advocacy needs is a big part, but their main job is to find the students and recruit them into the program, and then the educational services fall into the area of educational service specialist, which is another coordinator.
Mm-hmm. And what really qualifies a family as a migrant family?
So there are specific qualifications based on the rules from Office of Migrant Education. They have to be, of course, to work in agriculture or fisher, or they have to be a migratory worker or fisher. And the children have to be between the ages of 3 and 21, and they have to be in the same district for the last 36 months. And they have to, they can move again and qualify again, but they have to. Those are the basic qualifications: the age, the age factor, and the work factor.
And why might these children's educations be a little bit different than, say, a student that a parent works a 9-to-5 office job?
So the life of a migratory worker is that of they move many times. There are frequent moves, and the children have to move with a migratory worker. So they miss out on school, and their conditions, it's a very low income pay. So the conditions are very poor. They don't have the resources that any other student would have. So we make sure that they have all the tools that they need to achieve academically.
And does Mississippi have a large migrant population?
Well, it fluctuates. Obviously, because of their lifestyle, they may move or they may stay. They might like an area, a certain area, and they decide to stay and settle. But at any given time, we may have anywhere between 450 to 500 migrant students in the state. That is including out-of-school youth, which are kind of another type of migrant worker, but because they're here on their own working, but as long as they're not 22 years of age, they can still qualify for the program.
Mm-hmm. And I guess the education for maybe the younger kids is a lot different than the educational needs for maybe the 20, 21-year-olds.
Absolutely. There are different needs and they're at different levels. So we prioritize the priority for service students are those students that have been in the state or in the district for less than a year, and we prioritize those services, make sure that they receive all the support services in terms of everything that they need, from tutorials to supplies, school supplies, and then we kind of categorize as needed.
And what sort of services does the center offer?
So we have, I mentioned, delivery school supplies, advocacy, support services, but we also have after-school programs and summer programs.
And talk to me a little bit about the after-school programs and the summer programs.
Sure. So the after-school programs are either organized in a school district where we have a vast amount of students, where we hire teachers from the district, and those teachers tutor our students to get them up to speed with all the subjects. And we also have an in-home after-school program where the teacher travels to their home or she meets the families at the library, at a public library, and does the same type of tutorial one-on-one. We do this with districts where we don't have as many students and we can't really justify having a group of hiring a school bus and things like that at a school district. The summer programs are a little bit different because we have them in certain areas where we have pockets of migrant students, and we contract with the school transportation, and we hire all the teachers through the university as intermittent workers, and they essentially do the lesson plans, and they create a curriculum. We train them so that they can do these summer programs, and they usually take place in June.
And we touched on this before, but what sort of special education needs do migrant children need?
Well, they're different types. It depends on some of them need anywhere from the very beginning. They don't, we have some students that may not even speak English or Spanish. They may be from Guatemala and they speak their native language, which is not English or Spanish. So, from the very beginning, EL, it's a big part of being a migrant student, which doesn't necessarily mean that they're a migrant, but English language, it's a big part. So that in terms of educationally, but I mentioned before, advocacy is a huge need. They may not know where to go to get their shots, so we deliver a lot of resources for them, and we make sure that they have what they need.
And do you also kind of provide parent resources as well?
We do. The parental involvement coordinator makes sure that she is taking care of that part of the program in terms of training the parents and to giving the parents the tools that they need to help the students succeed. The books in their own language, helping them find the resources that they need for the child, where to get shots, eyeglasses. We make sure we collaborate with the Lions Club. We collaborate with lots of agencies so that they can do this kind of things for free. We can't purchase uniforms, but we find agencies that can donate things like that, uniforms. And we just make sure that they have everything educationally, like supplies and things.
And are these children, are they enrolled in a public school usually, or are some of them just kept out of school?
They are enrolled in a public school, but some of them sadly drop out because their goal is to work. So we try to make sure that they stay in school and graduate with a high school diploma so that they can have productive employment afterwards.
And so for your older students, do you do GED education?
We refer them to any type of GED programs that are available. One of them is the high school equivalency diploma program, which is also a federal program, and we make sure that our students are enrolled in that program if possible.
And then how long are children eligible for this service?
Once they're in the program, they're eligible for 36 months. 3 years is the eligibility term. However, we have families that have been in the program for many years. If they have been, if they move to another state, per se, to follow crop, and they move back and they have engaged in agricultural work within that time frame, we can qualify them again. So a family can qualify and requalify for many years as long as they keep moving. But 3 years is the basic term of eligibility.
And how are these children and families really recruited for the center?
So we have an identification tool, which is the family survey, and goes out at the schools. So the school sends out the survey, and the survey displays all their contact information, such as address and phone numbers. Once the survey returns to us, the recruiter visits the home, and they engage in an extensive interview, which they've been trained to do, to determine eligibility. So once there is a certificate of eligibility, which is the COE for short, that document is uploaded to us, and we can approve or reject or approve the information based on what was being given. And once the recruiter does that uploading and everything, then the family, if they qualify for the program, they're enrolled in the program. So this is just kind of that process, the visit and interview, and then the documentation.
And is this program available in any state in the U.S.? Yes,
actually, this program is actually part of the Harvest of Shame, then Harvest of Hope. In the 1960s, there was a documentary done, and so that saw that there was a need for an educational program for the students because of the high mobility. They missed out on, they fell through the gaps. So it's available in every state. Each state is structured differently, but it is available in every state.
And if people want to know more about MSU Service Center, where would they need to go to get that information?
So we have a website. It's mmesc.msstate.edu, and all of our information is there, including phone numbers and emails.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the show today.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
For more information about the College of Ed, visit educ.msstate.edu.